Greetings and welcome to another episode of His Will for Your Life. I am your host, Sherry Levon Harris, and we have joining us today is Michelle Gerald. We are focusing on National Black Business Month, and she's going to talk about her business and holistic wellness. Please stay tuned. Please comment, like, and share this podcast, and we'll be right back.
His Will for Your Life with Sherry Harris. This is your weekly Wednesday 7 p.m. podcast. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Informative, hot topics, testimonies, interviews, along with your weekly guests and more. And now here's your host, Sherry Harris.
Welcome back to His Will for Your Life. I am your host, Sherry Levon Harris, and joining with us is Michelle Gerald. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm well. It's a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure. It's an honor.
Thank you. I'm going to give you this opportunity to share with your audience, with our audience, who you are and what you do.
I am Michelle Gerald, and I am a certified holistic nutritionist as well as an aromatherapist and herbalist. Awesome. I have a business, and I guess we'll get into that later on, and that has become my passion and my drive.
I like that. So I'm just going to go right into it. What made you start this business?
It started with my health. I went through a bout of depression. And in doing that, it was after the ending of a 20-year relationship with my children's father. When you say you leave something with low self-esteem, I had no self-esteem. I didn't like who I was. I couldn't look myself in the mirror. When I looked in the mirror, I actually saw nothing. And going through that depression, I began to just let myself go. I didn't take care of myself. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping. My focus was on my kids, and my focus was just on them. I didn't care about me because at that point I didn't love me. I didn't understand how I got to a place where I could be so low, where I can allow a situation, a circumstance, or something that I allowed, that I stayed in to get me to that place. And it started affecting my health. I had gained a lot of weight, and I started having all these issues that I had never had before. Wow. And what happened was I started going to the doctor. They had me on all kinds of medications. They had me on, my blood pressure was out of control. My cholesterol was out of control. They had me on all kinds of stuff. They had me on a different kind of medicine that slips my mind now, but it was another medicine for, they gave me a depression medicine. And it just made me, instead of it helping, I noticed that it would have me in like a sad space. I would take the medicine. And at that point I worked at a daycare, and, I would be sitting in my little daycare class, have my kids sleep. I would do my job, but my coworkers would be like, "We don't like you like this." I would take the medicine. I would just sit on the floor and just stare off into space. It was really bad. And I went to my doctor and I said, I need to lose. I started having other issues. I was having panic attacks. Just all these things was just coming on me. And I told my doctor, I said, she said, "You're getting pretty heavy. You're too heavy for your age, your height, and all of that. So I'm going to give you metformin." Now, I'm not diabetic. I had gained weight, but I was not even pre-diabetic. I was none of those things. And
Mm-hmm.
she said, this will help you lose the weight. It'll cut your appetite. So I started taking the medicine, but I then started noticing I was feeling weird, even more so than normal. And then I started, when my friends were telling me about how I was with the depression medicine, I immediately stopped. I stopped using that, and I just poured the prescription down the toilet. And I said I wasn't going to get it refilled because I didn't want to be in that state. But then I started noticing how I was feeling while taking the metformin, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started researching.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found out was, and this is, a lot of people who are diabetic and end up on dialysis, part of the reason is because of metformin. It slowly breaks down the function of your kidneys and your pancreas, and that's what leads them to having to be on dialysis. So I stopped taking the medicine. At
Mm-hmm.
that point, and I don't advise this for anyone, but
Mm-hmm.
this is what that helped me. I stopped taking the medicine. I stopped taking all of my medication, the blood pressure, all of them. And I started doing more research on how I can do things naturally, how I can use food as my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would go back for a checkup, my numbers were improving.
Mm-hmm.
The weight was coming off, my numbers was improving. So after about 6 months, she said, oh, you can stop taking this one. And that's when I told her, I said, I stopped taking them 6 months ago. Her mouth dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, what did you do? And I said, my only issue with you was that instead of you sending me to a dietitian because I needed to lose the weight, I said, you prescribed me a medicine for a disease I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
that was going to cause me long-term damage. And so that just struck something in me, like a passion in me. So I started, doing more research. And then I said, you know what? I became so passionate about it because I saw the results
Mm-hmm.
that I said, you know what? How can I make this a lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
So I then turned it into a lifestyle. But I said, you know what? I want others to know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we go to the doctors, and like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a certified, I'm certified in what I do. And so I always tell people who come to me, I tell them that first. And to follow your doctor, but begin to do the natural things. And that way, and start taking journals and noticing the changes. But I said, you know what? I can make this a lifestyle. So that's what I did. I started studying. I signed up for the classes that I needed to. I invested in me.
Mm-hmm.
I invested in me. And the way that, when that changed, the way it changed my self-esteem, I was able to start, I was feeling better. I was looking better, and it just lifted me up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's what triggered me to start researching and become certified in aromatherapy and holistic nutrition, because it helped me. And I tell people this all the time. I'll be 51 years old September the 11th, and I am on no medications.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm September 1st, so we have that in common.
We
Um,
have-
how do you define holistic health and wellness?
For me, I mean, there's a technical definition for it, but for what I tell people is, I deal with the mind, body, and the spirit. I am Michelle Gerald, but I'm also Elder Michelle Gerald. So God goes first in everything that I do. And when in reading the word tells us that when we used to see the scripture, and it says, we are wonderfully, fearfully, and wonderfully made. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we do that and we think about that scripture as far as the outer appearance. But when I was begin my journey, I was speaking to the Lord, and the Holy Spirit led me to that scripture. And what I got out of that was, God has created our bodies in such a way that we can heal ourselves if we allow ourselves to. And and that goes along with the holistic part. Holistic is natural. It's taking what God has given us on the earth and using it for
Mm-hmm.
our benefit, basically.
Right.
And I use it in a way of, when I say holistic, I'm thinking the whole man, because God wants to heal the whole man.
Absolutely.
And so when I think of holistic, I think of, okay, healing my body, yes, naturally, with herbs,
Mm-hmm.
spices, and those things that God has given us naturally. When I think of, the mind and the
Mm-hmm.
spirit, I think of the word.
Mm-hmm.
And it's living a whole natural life, a balance, if you will, a balanced life.
Mhm.
That's what holistic is for me, and that's the definition I give to those who come and talk to me, and and who I consult, and who I make plans for, and those who just come in. It's not always about the food and teaching them to do things that way, because I am in ministry. A lot of times I get phone calls for people who just need to just release. So for me, holistic, like I said, I don't go by the technical definition,
Mhm.
because for me to do it the way that the Holy Spirit led me to do it, everything that I do involves healing the whole man. Even in my personal ministry, it's healing the whole man.
Mhm.
The whole God gave me something a few years, 4 years back, heal thyself. And when you put it together, it's healthy self.
Mm.
And it's a retreat that I do every year with the women, and it's not large. I keep it intimate, because I started out with, how when God give you something, you're like, oh, this is going to be big, and you
Yeah.
want to do it big. And I started out with all these numbers, but every time we get ready to go to the retreat, it always dwindles down to people back out, or whatever the case may be. It always dwindled down to maybe 10 people at the most. And I said, God, I don't understand. And he
Mhm.
said, this is about ministry. It's
Mm.
not about numbers. And when in talking to the ladies, I found out they're more comfortable sharing when it's an intimate group than
Absolutely.
a larger group. So everything I do is geared to healing and
Mhm.
holistic and naturally. So that's why I don't use the technical definition for it. I just use my definition, which means healing the whole man
Mhm.
in the most natural, biblical way possible.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It makes sense. Absolutely. We always, no matter what, we always have to refer back to the word, right?
Exactly. Always. Always.
What is your approach to helping clients achieve holistic wellness?
For me, I like to conversate. Like to converse with them, find out what the issue is. And see, the thing is, for me, like I said, I deal with the whole part, because sometimes it the what was happening with me, it was the mindset, it
Mm-hmm.
was the state of mind I was in that was causing the health issues. So that's why I like to converse with them, find out what's going on. Is there anything going on? What changes have happened in your life? Is there something that you're stressing out about? And we
Mm-hmm.
know that stress leads to cancer and all this other stuff. So is there anything that you're stressing about? So that's the for me, that's the elder in me, ministry. And
Mm-hmm.
once we find out that issue, okay, this is leading to this. The
Mm-hmm.
reason you're having this is because you're stressed out about this. And my approach to them is finding out, what is it that you want me to do? What is it that you want me to help you with? And
Mm-hmm.
I let them know, what you put in is what you're going to get out. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it raw. And I'm a straight shooter regardless.
Right.
And so I'm going to let them know, your problem is this.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, because we live, and then it affects us with our food, because some people are emotional eaters.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, when they get going through emotion, they don't eat right. They
Mm-hmm.
they don't eat. So a lot of our emotions are tied to our health. So if we can get that mindset in the right place,
Mm-hmm.
then we can start working on the health issues. And my approach is, just having a conversation. Just having a conversation. I
Mm-hmm.
am and
We're
I am
live. Anything can happen when you're live. It's okay.
My approach is just really just having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just having a conversation. So I hope that answers the question.
It does. It does. Can you share examples of how you've helped clients improve their physical, emotional, and spiritual health?
What I do is, yes, what I do is, once I find out what the issue is,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't tell them to just drop the medicine like I did. I never advise anybody to do that. But my first step is having the conversation, finding out, because before I give them any kind of meal plan or anything to do, I like to know what medications you're on. Because just because something is any allergies, all of that stuff is a list of 20 or so odd questions, depending on what it is they've come for. Because some of the consultations have longer list of questions that I have to ask. But what I do is I go and I talk to them about, what it is that they need. And then I'll go from there. I'll see what medicines they're on, because like I said, even though it's natural, if you have an allergy, for an example, if you're allergic to, say, rosemary, if you can't eat rosemary without having an allergic reaction, you can't use a rosemary essential oil. Because the same reaction you have if you eat it, if you consume it, is going to be the same reaction you're going to have if you put it on your skin.
Right.
So I have to find out allergies. I have to find out medicines, because some natural things counteract with the medications you may be on. So my approach is to find out what the issue is. Because the thing with medicine is, when you go to the doctor, when you go to the doctor asks you, what are your symptoms? And then they prescribe you medication according to your symptoms. I find out what the issue is and what's going on. What's the problem you're having? I know what symptoms go with these problems, but my approach to them is, what issues are you having? What are you feeling? How is your body feeling? What is your body telling you? What happens after you eat at this time of night? What happened at 30 minutes after you eat during the day? I find out all those things. And from there, that's how I build their nutritional plan. Because a lot of people come to me for their nutritional plan. So that's how I build that, is I find out what the issue is, find out any allergies, anything like that, and then we build from there. And the main question is, what is it that you want from me? Some people come to me because they need to lose weight. Some people come to me because they need to gain weight. So going from those things, that's how I build a plan. Some people come to me because they want to get off of medications. So I take all of that into consideration, and I sit down and we build a plan. My plans sometimes are they're very strict. And like I said, what you put in is what you're going to get out. But if you're really focused and you want it, then you'll do the work.
How do you incorporate the nutrition in your holistic approach?
The nutrition part is I do classes. The things that I do, like I have a DBA of Peace and Mixtures. That's my business, Peace and Mixtures. And I have a DBA of that. It's called Unbelievable Lemonades and Teas. Everything that I do has some kind of health benefit to it. How I incorporate it in there, it goes along with the plan. When I talk to someone, like say for instance, my lemonades, they're all natural. They're all natural, and every one of them have a benefit. So I incorporate the food. I teach people how to eat to live and not live to eat.
Would you like me to take a commercial break?
Please. Yes.
Yes.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in the palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You
welcome back to His Will for Your Life. Joining me again is Michelle Gerald, and we're talking about holistic health. All righty, we're all set.
Yes, I apologize about that. Life be lifing for real.
Life
And I
is life.
am now.
Life is life, especially when you have children.
Yes.
What role does exercise and movement play in holistic wellness, and how do you help your clients develop a fitness plan?
Um, it plays a big role in holistic wellness because movement is important.
Mm-hmm.
They have to have some kind of movement, and it depends on the person. I let people know, if it's someone who may have had like a knee problem, knee replacement, I give them a plan where they can do modified exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't try to have them overdo it, but I let them know depending on the person and what they can do and how they have to build up. Because some people come in and they exercise, but they have some other issues going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I deal a lot with feminine health as well. So some people come in and they're fine in that way, but then they have, as far as exercising, but then there's some that come in and they haven't exercised in years. So we have to slowly build. So I sit with them with that consultation, and I have a few things that they can do in the office, and I'll say, can you do this? And we'll do a few little steps in the office to see what they can do. And we modify it to adjust to the person. If it's an elderly person, because I do deal with some elderly people because of the arthritis and different things of that nature. So they may only be able to do something sitting down where they just lift their legs, lifting their arms, just doing stuff, using the things that they have at home. Because some people are on the budgets. So, and the elderly, a lot of them are on a fixed income. So with those clients, what I do is I tell them to use what they have at home. Take a bottle of water, 2 bottles of water, and do your curls like this. Use what you have. Use what you have till you get to where you need to be. So how exercise is very important, but how we do that is it depends on the person, because everything that I do as far as clients is individually done. It's like it's geared, created for that individual.
Mm-hmm.
So each person's thing is going to be different. You may be doing some of the same exercises, but how many times a week this person has to do it may be different from how many times a week you have to do it. So it just depends on the individual, and they're all uniquely crafted for that particular individual.
Okay. How do you address stress as well as mental health in your holistic approach?
I am big on mental health, because if your mental is not right, it throws everything else off.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people sometimes, and a lot of times, especially in our community, there is a stigma against seeking counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, go sit on somebody's couch.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to sit on the couch.
Absolutely.
It's okay not to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So that's a big part of the whole holistic umbrella is making sure that you take time to unplug, that you take time for yourself, and how we build up to that, especially when you're a mother, you're a grandmother, when you're working, even with the guys, because there's single fathers out there, even with them, because I have male clients as well. I tell them it's okay to take a few minutes for yourself. And even with that, because life be lifing, and because there's so much to do, even with that, I tell them you may have to build up to it. You may have to build up to 5 minutes. If you could just take 5 minutes for yourself one day, that's good. Take 5 minutes. And then you can build up to 10 minutes. You can build up to 15 minutes. Then you eventually, before you know it, you'll be taking a whole day just for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really, really passionate about mental health. I have a nonprofit called Sisters Inspiring Sisters. And in that corporation, in that nonprofit, we also do a thing. We have journaling and different things like that. But we also have something that will be starting in the next month we're putting together a hotline. Because sometimes you don't need, and I find when I talk to people, I can't help but be Elder Gerald, and the Bible is such a part of my life that yes, sometimes scriptures just come up. But some people don't, at certain times in your life, let's be honest, you don't want to hear nothing about no scripture. Sometimes you don't want to say, you know what, I'm praying for you. No, I don't want to hear that right now. And sometimes we don't want no advice at all. So what we're setting up um, is a platform where people can just call in. They can let us know in the beginning of the call whether they want advice or not, but it's mainly a platform where they can just call and vent.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you just have to get it off your chest. Sometimes you just have to be able to just talk to somebody, know that somebody is there listening. Now, if you want advice, like I said, you can tell us in the beginning, but if you don't, then just say, I just want to vent. And we have people set up that are just going to be just to listen. But mental health is a big part of the holistic umbrella, because if you're like it was with me, I can always reference myself. My mental state was not where it should be, which affected every aspect of my life.
Absolutely.
And I didn't think, because I was focusing on my children, that it didn't affect them. I didn't think so, but it did.
Mm-hmm.
I overcompensated. I smothered them. I was putting everything, there were things that, I was angry sometimes, and I yelled when I didn't need to yell, because I was frustrated at myself, at life, my situation, and my mental state was just not where it needed to be. So it affected everything else. So having your mental state in the right place has a lot to do. So mental health is a big issue for me. It's a passion for me. You have to take care of it. And like I tell people, go sit on the couch. It's okay.
It is okay, actually. And I tell people, it's important to pencil yourself in your schedule. I don't care
Yes.
if it's 2 hours and you want to twiddle your thumbs. That's your 2 hours to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you don't want to answer your phone, you don't want to respond to a text or an email, that's your business. But
That's right.
I'm big on mental health as well.
Yes, and I would do something called, I used to travel a lot with church, and I don't travel as much anymore. And they don't even ask me a lot of times, am I going to different things? Because I tell them all the time, I've got something to do. Even if what I have to do is come home and sit on my couch and flip my remote, then
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
And no is a complete sentence. If you say no. Yeah.
Exactly. And I say, no is a complete sentence with no explanation. I don't owe you an explanation.
Yeah, the nice way it is said to say, thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to attend that.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you worked with clients who have chronic health conditions, and how do you approach their care from a holistic perspective?
Okay. A lot of times with chronic health issues, sometimes there are things that have gone so far that not being taken care of, because for me, and this is my opinion because this is what I do, medicines for me, they just lead to, like I said, they treat the symptoms, and then one medication gives you other side effects, then you have to get a medication for that side effect, and then you have to get another, and it's just an ongoing cycle, excuse me. So people with chronic issues, I always approach it the same way and sit down and talk to them and see what it is that they need. I let them know that they got a long road ahead of them. And so there are some conditions that cannot be, that I don't have the skill set. I'm still studying, still trying to go to the next level in what I do to reverse, because it's been so long. But I can help you, and I'm honest with them. I can help you with the pain. I can help you, live with it better. I can help you in this way. I'm honest with them. People with rheumatoid arthritis. Arthritis is really a lot of inflammation around the joints. If you can take care of the inflammation, and what causes inflammation? Mucus. A lot of, and that leads into a lot of inflammation. So I start from those issues, because I have a lot of people who come to me about rheumatoid arthritis. So we start with those type of things. We find the underlying issues. We start breaking it down. And I tell them, some things you can reverse. And for those things, even though it's a chronic illness, some things can be reversed, but it's going to be a long road. And we're going to have to start at this point. And then once we get that resolved, then we can start working on this. Then we can start working on this. And as it goes, you'll see the results in the end.
Yes, I find that cinnamon aids in, um, combating inflammation. So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. How do you stay current with your latest research and trends in the holistic field?
Well, the school that I attended, I have like lifetime, lifetime rights to the websites, the newsletters, everything that comes out. So I'm always researching, and as just with everything else, like with everything else, there's always a new thing that comes out. I don't just go by the new thing. I do my own research. And because I've studied and the resources that I have being, with herbs and essential oils and those things, I have different websites and different resources that I can get into because I am certified. Then I go on and find out, has there been any issue with this? Has there been anything? And I do extensive research before I even add it to anything that I'm doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you share some success stories from your work as a holistic expert, certified holistic?
Yes, absolutely. I had myself, number one, but I've also had quite a few people who I have worked with. I've worked with I call him a young man. It's an older gentleman, but he was on dialysis, and he needed he needed something to help him with his digestion, because that was giving him an issue. And of course, I started him with some ginger, making sure that he can take the ginger. We slowly started with some ginger, but then there was a reaction to that. So I said, okay, let's go back. And I had to revisit that. But over time, and prescribing him certain making certain detox teas for him, making certain giving him certain things that are good as far as probiotics, we were able to get him to a place where his digestive system was working and functioning just fine, which took him off of some of his medications. Now, I didn't mess with, he didn't want anything. He didn't come to me for help with his kidneys. So I didn't mess with anything with his kidneys. Whatever he asked me for, that's what he wanted, digestion. So that's what I helped him with his digestion. So he was able to get off the medication for that. I had a young lady who she went to the doctor, and she was they were wanting to put her on some other kind of medications, something to deal with she has diverticulitis, and they to put her on some other stronger medication because the medication they had given her wasn't working, and she wanted to put her on a stronger medication and some other medication to pair with it. And she asked the doctor, she said, can you give me 3 months to try to do it naturally? And after she left the doctor, she called me and she said, Michelle, I need your help. She said, I got 3 months because I don't want to be on this medication. And she said, I've got to lose some of this weight. I got to straighten out my stomach. And she said, so I need your help. Can you put me on a plan? So we sat down. She was mad because she didn't like the plan because it took away a lot of the stuff that she had to eat that she was eating. But after those 3 months, they didn't. When she went back to her doctor, she did not have to get on that medication. She hasn't had a diverticulitis flare up in a little over 2 years. Wow. And in that process, she lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need this plan. Okay. Okay. How do you work with clients to create personalized wellness plans that are suitable and effective? Sustainable and effective.
That's the thing, sustainable. I let people, what I do is I ask them, what do you think you can do? And once they give me what they think they can do, I tell them what they need to do.
Okay.
I tell them what they need to do. If you're wanting this result, then you're going to have to do this. Some people honestly just can't, they just can't hold to a strict regimen of I never have anybody just to go straight into something. I'm used to juicing. I'm used to going a few days and just doing a fruit detox. And I tell people the best detoxers are your fruit and your vegetables. Those are the best detoxers. Your fruit and your vegetables are the best detoxers. Your fruit are going to detox you. Your vegetables are going to help you build back up. So what I do is making it specific and geared toward them. What I do is I sit down. They after they tell me what it is that they need or they're looking for, I write out. I ask them to give me 48 hours to 72 hours to work out a plan for them. I
Mm-hmm.
give them their meal plan that includes what they can eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between, what exercise, because we've talked about that, what exercise they may need to, they need to do if they're working on that part of it. And exercise is a big part of that. And then I sit down with them and give them the plan. After a week, I have people always start a journal. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what it is I prescribe to them, whether it's teas, whether it's foods, whether it's something anything that they're adding into their diet or their daily routine, whether it's dealing with their mental state, start a journal, because I need you to see. And when we consult again, I need to see what changes have you seen, what changes have you felt. So after that week, we revisit. If it's been hard for them to handle that, then we'll back it up a little bit. If it's been too rigorous for them, we'll
Mm-hmm.
back up a little bit. And I may say, okay, you know what? You can have a smoothie here, but you can have this meal. But
Okay.
I never just cut people off of stuff, because your body is like what you put in is like it's like a computer. And what you put in, you're giving your body input. And what it does, how your body reacts to it, is the output.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're giving your body, if I'm used to eating so much a day, and then all of a sudden the next day I decide I'm not going to eat, my body's not going to know what to do. It's not going to know how to function, and you're going to find all kinds of stuff going wrong. So a lot of times we slowly build up to what it is that they need to do. I'm not going to tell you, okay, tomorrow you can't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So the weeks prior, while I'm working on, like, usually those, depending on the person, while I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on your plan, I'm telling them, okay, you need to stop eating at this hour, cut back on this, because getting your body ready for some changes, because you don't want to send your body into shock. And once they get to the level that they want it to be on, then we revisit again and we give them a maintenance plan. This is how you maintain that. This is how you're going to maintain this healthy weight that you're at. This is how you're going to maintain this weight gain till you get to the level that you want to be at. This is how you're going to maintain this. So it's a whole process, but we never just go straight into anything. I never just have someone just to completely just stop eating, or just completely, everything is slowly building up.
So the intermittent fasting, is that per body type, per age, or is it just for anyone?
It works. Intermittent fasting works. Again, you have to consider a lot of things have to come into play. Of course, medications and all of that. So all of that has to come into play. But intermittent fasting does work. But how you do it does depend on the individual. And
So
the
it has
hours
to be
and time,
consistent.
you have to build up to it.
Okay.
You have to build up to it. So that's with anything. You can't like, if I don't if I've never done intermittent fasting, if I've never done it, I can't just go tomorrow. I can, but my body's going to be wacky. If I just decide, okay, tomorrow I'm going to start this, I slowly work myself up. You find the way that works for you. What hours of the day that you're going to, set for yourself to eat? What hours of the day you're going to be fasting? You set yourself up for that. So you start with, say, for instance, if you're going to be eating during the hours of, and I'm just throwing this out here, during the
Mhm.
hours of between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 4 p.m., 7 or 8 p.m. So if you're going to be doing that, so the days before that, or even a week before that, start cutting yourself back to where, because if you're, like I said, if you're used to eating full course meals at breakfast, and a lot of us are, especially in our community, we have to have grits, eggs, bacon. I don't eat meat. I'm pescatarian, so I eat seafood and fish, but even that in moderation. So we're used to eating the grits, the eggs, the bacon, the sausage. As if the bacon wasn't enough, we got to have sausage too. And then, as if the grits weren't enough, we got to have toast and then add some cheese on there too now. Dairy is just really our system, but add some cheese on it.
Yeah.
We have to have that for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, and I know you've heard this before, and this is something that I've been, researching myself and tried. Breakfast is really when you break your fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're getting up, you don't have to start your day. The best thing to start your day with is a cup of warm water with a little bit of lemon. That's going to help get your digestive system started.
Mm-hmm.
So a cup of warm water, as warm as you can stand it, actually. And I'm a coffee drinker, so I can drink pretty warm water, pretty hot water. That's the first thing to drink in the morning. And sometimes I don't eat until around noon. And you know what I eat? Berries,
Really?
strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, berries. It's really, really good with the antioxidants and all. I'll eat berries. Sometimes, then for lunch, I may not eat a salad. I may eat a whole cantaloupe.
Mm. Okay.
So that intermittent fasting, just build yourself up. It does work. And once you get on the routine, everything is like building the routine. And once you get on that routine, your body, you got to slowly introduce these things to your body. Your body will fall into place. Your body can heal itself if you give it what it needs to heal itself, which includes rest. All of these things they play a big factor. Your body needs rest. Water. I want to add this in there. You know how you drink like gallons, and people be drinking gallons and gallons of water? I'm not big on that. Only because I get a lot of my water source from my fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And I eat the ones that are, and coconut water is excellent. It's wonderful. But I get most of my water from my fruit. And from, those like and the vegetables that are kind of like cucumbers, which I consider cucumber fruit. Yeah, so those type things, that's, but drinking a gallon of water, you have to understand too much of anything is not good, no matter what it is. Even in the holistic world, too much of anything is not good because you can always overdo it. When you're drinking all that water and you're flushing all of that, and you notice how much you have to use the bathroom and all that other stuff, you're flushing out some of the good stuff too. So what I've learned and I did a little bit of studying on Celtic salt. It's hard to find, but it's good. Celtic salt. And what I do is I don't do it for every bottle of water I drink a day or every, jug of water that I drink a day. But I take a pinch of Celtic salt in my first bottle of water and I put it in my water. Because what that does is you're drinking and you keep being so thirsty. You notice how you'll drink a lot of water. And even when you drink water, you're still thirsty. Your organs are not getting, and the water's coming right back out of you. It's not staying in long enough to do anything for your organs. So you're still you can drink a lot of water and still be dehydrated. The Celtic salt helps your organs absorb what it needs. And then you'll find that you're less thirsty. And you're going to urinate, but you're not going to urinate as much. But you're going to go. But drinking a gallon of water, those people who go on this gallon of water, and they drink a gallon of water every day for 7 days, you flushed out a lot of the minerals and stuff that your body needs. There's bad bacteria and there's good bacteria. Sometimes you flush out the good bacteria when you need to keep that in there. Does that make sense? Yeah.
That makes sense. What are some of your favorite or the best detox teas?
Okay, dandelion root, bladderwrack, burdock root. I drink a lot of soursop tea, not for the detox benefit, but because of the other benefits to it. It has a lot of cancer fighting properties as well as,
it's more combative than chemo.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So that's a part of my my weekly routine. I drink soursop. There's sometimes that I just do it every day for a week, but during the week I do drink soursop tea at least 3 times a week. and moringa tea as well. But some of the best things for detoxing is dandelion, bladderwrack, and burdock. Those three I use all the time. I use those all the time because dandelion root, it helps filter your blood. Then I don't just do them singly, like individually. I do a lot of loose teas. So I use my little French press and I do a lot of loose teas with a little ball or whatever. And I put in whatever it is that I'm wanting at that time or whatever it is that I need for my body at that time. So I mix the three together a lot of times. And when I say that's a detox, that's a real detox for you. If you're going to do that, stay near the bathroom. So if you're going to do that, mix the three. And I tell people because and I don't mean to sound gross. If you're not using the bathroom, number two, I'll say it that way, just to keep it, clean. If you're not doing number two, at least once a day. For me, because of what I put in, it usually is 3 to 4 times a day. But at least once a day, then check your digestive system. I can say, for instance, just recently someone had a problem with they wanted a detox. There was 2 men, and they wanted a detox. I made them the exact same tea. The one young man, tea worked immediately. That same evening. The other guy, he was like, I don't know if it's working. I don't know if it's working. 3 days it took before it started working like it should. And I told him why. I said, because it depends on your system. You had a lot of stuff. It had to break up all that stuff that was still in there before it can start, you can start flowing. It had to break it up. You had a lot of stuff stuck in your digestive system. It was a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So it depends on the person. All of it is, that's why everything is individually constructed, and I design it for each individual. But those are my top 3 that I use. There are a lot of others, but again, the best detox is fruit and vegetables.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. This was really beneficial. And hopefully we'll get a lot of replays on this because it was really informative. So thank you so much for
having me,
sharing your knowledge with us. Is there any takeaways or anything you would like to leave with the audience?
Yes, I would like to tell, if I could leave anything with you all, it is listen to your body. Your body tells you what it needs. When I realized that I could no longer eat meat, I stopped eating. I stopped eating pork and all that years ago, but my body couldn't even digest baked chicken. I could eat. I thought it was first just chicken, just the fried foods, because I had stopped eating all kinds of meat, but I was still eating fried chicken, and chicken was the only thing I would eat. And I said, okay, I'm gonna cut out the grease. So I stopped with the fried. I could not eat baked chicken without being bent over in pain or going to the bathroom. My body was telling me it could no longer digest meat. So once I cut it out, I started feeling better. The stomach problems were gone. Remember to take care of your gut health. If you can get your gut together, it'll help with a lot of other things. Remember to take care of your mental health. There are 3 things. There's things that I want you to remember: to spend time with you and God. He'll tell you which way you need to go for yourself. He'll tell you what you need to do for you. If you're planning on fasting, if you're planning on doing intermittent fasting, pray. God will give you the instructions that you need.
Absolutely.
And he'll tell you how to do it for you. Absolutely. And I don't just go from what I said and just go out and buy a bunch of stuff and just say, okay, I'm getting ready to try this. Consult someone. You can give me a call. I'll consult with you. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you, give you some advice, but don't just go off and just grab something and say, okay, I'm going to start doing this without professional advice, because you could have an allergic reaction. It may counteract with some of your medications. If you're on medications, just be wise, but listen to your body. listen to your body and listen to your body. That's the best advice I can give you. Just listen to what your body is telling you, because it's always speaking to us. It's always telling us what we need and what we don't need, whether we need rest, whether we need to change our diet, whether we need to just take a moment to unplug our body. We know what we need if we'll just stop and listen.
I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Our body tells us everything.
Everything.
If we only listen. Thank you again for being with us. I really enjoyed you. Again, you're very informative, and I liked it very much. And I appreciate you for availing yourself for us tonight. We want to talk more about your business, of how to get in contact with you if someone needs your services.
Yes. You can find me on Facebook under Michelle Gerald, or my business, Peace in Mixtures. You can find me there. You can, if you want to call me, contact me, you want to email me. My email is Michelle, the letter G, @gmail.com. If you want just to conversate, and it's okay. I'll put my number, because my number is on my website. My number is 843-424-3180. You can call. If I don't answer immediately, then just leave a message and I will get back to you. For just constantly, if you just have a question, if you want to try something and you don't know if you should try it, if you have something personal that's going on, just give me a call and I am more than happy to, advise you on what way you should go. If you want to check out my products that I sell, you can go to www.peaceinmixtures.bigcartel.com. And it has all the products that I sell, as far as the yoni products, the men's products. It has all of that on there. And that's how you can find me.
Awesome. So I will make sure I go back and put this information in the feed so that they will have this information to reach out to you. Again, thank you so much. Guys, please join us on Wednesday for our panel discussion. It is third Sunday, so we're going to have a pop-up conversation, and it's really going to be a show about nothing. We're just going to come up with some conversations, and we're going to talk about it. We hope that you would join us at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday evening. Again, thank you for watching us tonight. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, just as long as you don't stay in that place. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is why I need a producer. But good night, everyone.
Join us again next week for another riveting, informative segment of His Will for Your Life podcast.